Hey guys, I made a video the other day explaining my cycle that I'm going to do, well I am doing, to blast in the next few months, and it's the testosterone base with Primo and adding HGH on top of that as well. And I got one comment saying he doesn't recommend I do that because taking so many compounds, if you have one bad effect, a bad effect that you don't know which one it's coming from. And then he recommended taking DBOL, or that's what he said he was going to do anyway. And pretty much DBOL, I think, is one of the worst anabolic compounds to do. It's kind of outdated. The only reason why I could see somebody taking DBOL is because they're afraid of needles. Like, there's no reason to take it. Because of, first of all, it's not as good as a compound as other ones out there. As far as anabolic effects, you can't run it for a long time. It's very toxic. The whole, like, if you do all of the statistics, like the panel on anabolic and androgenic effects, like, it is one of the worst. It is one of the dirtiest compounds, because it converts to a really toxic form of estrogen that's like estrogen on steroids, literally. And so you're going to have all of the horrible side effects, the whole list of side effects that you would get on any other anabolic, you will get with it. Now, everybody's different. Some people might metabolize it better than other people, but essentially gyno is the big one. Bloat the fuck up. There's a classic DBOL look where they look like they're like Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, swollen up, like tons of water weight. So people who run DBOL, they'll gain like 20 pounds, and then most of that's just water weight. Like not much of it is like the lean mass that I'm looking for, especially lean muscle mass that's going to stay after you stop your blast, and then you come down to like a TRT dose. You'll maintain it, right? If you when you do DBOL, again, from what I've heard, you have all of those gains will be lost, and it's not real gains. Now, there might be a bit of power you might get from it. Some people kind of microdose it, I've heard as well. But I think the general consensus is that it's a no. Not many people take it anymore, especially in the professional bodybuilders. So essentially, it's an oral form of testosterone. So why don't you just take testosterone? And it's safer, and it's not gonna to process the DBOL when it goes through your system. It's very hard on your system. Your liver, like, it turns into like a caustic, potentially carcinogenic compound that your body's going to process. Your liver's going to, because that's what filters. That's what will filter it. So I don't know why anybody would take it when testosterone is kind of the safest compound. Your body already produces it. You get testosterone that you inject. It's like literally like bioidentical to what your body produces. So your body, it's safe, right? And then, but if you're taking super physiological doses, then you got to worry about the E2, the estradiol. In which case, then you take something else that brings down, that moderates the estrogen. That isn't an AI. AI will totally crush the estrogen, and you do want estrogen, because estrogen is important for a lot of things, like bone growth, for example, and neuroprotective properties. So that's why something like Primobolan, it's been around for a long time. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger's. That's what he did in the 70s. And the classic bodybuilders used to take DBOL like back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, but then it was kind of phased out for a reason, and the reason is that injectable testosterone is better, and the fact that there's a whole bunch of other options, like as far as anabolics, that are way less side effects and way better anabolic properties. A lot cleaner. Primobolan is one of them. Primobolan is known as one of the cleanest steroids there is. It's not one of the strongest, quote, but it is one that you can run for longer. And all top bodybuilders do it. Like, guys that I listen to, they run a gram of test a week and a gram of Primo, and then a bunch of HGH. And maybe because they're pro bodybuilders, they'll right before their contest they'll run like trenbolone, right? Like at least tren has its place, even though that's like a super toxic steroid. Like it has its place if you're like a pro bodybuilder in like contest prep. It'll trim you up, lean muscle mass, make you ripped, like get you right in the proper shape right before your contest. But other than that, like there's really no purpose to run tren. I will never run tren, and I'll never run DBOL. Like there's so many other safer, better options, and for me, it's about safe and effective steroid use. That's kind of what I've been mentioning in the last few videos. Is I want, obviously I want the effectiveness, and obviously it's also risk versus reward, right? Now you run steroids, there's always going to be a risk. There's going to be a risk for estrogen conversion and those types of effects. And there's also a risk for high blood pressure and other things. And that's the one particular. I don't want, if I'm running steroids for like potentially the rest of my life, doing blasts and cruise cycles, the blood pressure would be a major concern. I don't want left ventricular hypertrophy, which is like the left side of your heart, the muscle gets super big, and then your blood pressure's fucked, and you'll have cardiac issues later in life. 100%. That's not what I want, because I know that, I studied that. I don't want heart failure later in life or heart attacks. So I want to minimize. I want to take steroids that that work but aren't going to have long-term negative effects. And taking it in the right doses, that as well isn't going to be the case. And look at Arnold Schwarzenegger; he's still alive. There's other guys who've been alive who are pro bodybuilders, and they're living into their 70s, very, very healthy. And then there's other ones who died very young as well, right? And I guarantee it's because they took a lot of dirty shit. That's one reason. Anyway, so I'll leave it there, guys. What do you guys think about DBOL? I think it's something I would advise stay away from that one, and just inject testosterone and potentially take another compound that on top of it that works synergistically with it. Anyway, I'll leave it there, guys. Like always, thanks for watching, and peace.